Hey guys, it's me, Kate again. So this video will be my January wrap-up. Unlike so far, I won't go in really in-depth with every book I read, considering that I read over 70 of them. And last time that happened was last May when I read 80 something, but unlike that time, in January I didn't read 4 dozen volumes of manga. So we'll just go through some highlights. So the first book that I have is Lifelike by Jay Kristoff. In this one we are following a girl named Leah who one day while going through the junkyard finds Lifelike, which is this humanoid cyborg, and tries to repair him. I gave this 5 to 5 stars. Sorry, the next book that I read was Beast World, which is about all kinds of creatures. So we have werewolves, vampires, the Loch Ness monster, and stuff like that. This non-fiction, I gave it 4 out of 5 stars, or 3 out of 5. I don't remember. It's not the best book, but it is a really good introduction to the topic, but it has really good illustrations. Which are that complement the topic it's talking about. So for example, we have this map of the world with all the different creatures and where they can be found, and we have pictures like this, which are 2 pages spread of the creature. This is the Minotaur, and for example we have Yeti, and pages the book is really actually what I appreciated is that text isn't actually too small and you actually can read it. I find most often than not in these types of books that the font is really tiny and it actually can be really hard to read the book because you have to really struggle with the font, but these types of books will actually have really nice. They do have, because most spreads are over 2 pages, you actually have the font of reasonable size, and you can actually read it. And, here's one illustration of the dragon. I think these are all done by a computer, and this looks like it's done by hand, but it can be also by computer. It's I can't believe that books like this exist, because they're just so good. And I don't know, so we have Sprite with Vampire, which is pretty cool. It actually looks like something that came out of the forest, which is right next to my local cemetery. Yeah, we have a creepy woods right next to the cemetery, so, and the part of the cemetery is literally across the street from the woods, so it's quite, it's the whole story. Oh, we have a zombie here. As I said, I can't believe that there's something like this that actually can be read, and because of the size, I don't know how well it translates to the camera, but this book is, so this is the normal format of the book. Look how much smaller it is. So this is huge. So, and me and my mom use it for writing stuff down, because it's hardback that's huge, so you can actually write on top of it, which is quite great. Then the next what I read was Fangirl by Rowell. This is a book about Kat, who is a big fan of this series about Simon's show, and even writes fan fiction about it, and she's just about to go to college with her twin sister and really wants to be a roommate with her sister, but her sister wants to meet new people, so ends up with another girl who is just as weird and as she is, and her friend hangs out always in their dorm room. This was a read for me and I really enjoyed it. The next book that I read was What If It's Us by Becca Albertelli and Adam Silvera. This is about two boys, Arthur and Ben, who meet each other in the New York post office and then go on the series of disastrous dates. The next book that I actually read, did I skip one or did let me just check, because this doesn't seem right. Oh, I have it. I thought that I skipped one, but it's later on. So the next book that I read was Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. If you don't know what this is about, it's about a boy called Harry Potter who on his 11th birthday finds out he's a wizard. The next book that I read was Stalked by Shadows by Lisa Casey, which was a reread. In this one we're following an ex-army ranger whose twin brother finds him a job with this store owner slash tour guide of haunted places of New Orleans, and he actually needs a bodyguard because some people started harassing him on his tours, so, and needs paranormal romance about two of them. Then I read Fear Book by Richard Hamilton, Marco Martone, and Dave Sharp. I had an arc from NetGalley, and it's actually a comic book slash graphic novel about a group of kids who basically are trying to solve a mystery of students that went missing in their school throughout the years. Then I read Mark by Shadows and Possessed by Shadows, and also Conventional Shadows by Lisa Casey, which are second and third book, and then novella in Simply Craft, the series, the first book being Stalked by Shadows. Then I read Ether Walker by Cameron Dayton, which was also from NetGalley. It was interesting. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. Then I read Resistance by C.E. Ort, also, and I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. Then I reread Hidden Gem, Cardinal Sins, and also Kendall, and then Bennett's Carnival by Lisa Casey, which is a series about Aki, who has this power, so when he touches an object, he can see stuff about its former owner, and this is really helpful with the police when they're trying to solve a murder case. So he and one of the and it's a romance between him and one of the officers he is trying to help. And then I had 2 arcs for new editions of books by Bill Kitson that were Brothers and Sisters of Bale Crescent and Storm Clouds over Bale Crescent. I DNF'd both of them because basically the formatting was really weird, and it made the font really small, and you couldn't on the and because I was reading on my phone, I couldn't decipher what it was, what it said on the pages, so I just couldn't even read them. Then I read then in that little bit I also had 3 other DNFs, that being the Pro Business module by Tanvir Pango, Medieval Military Medicine by Brian Banfield, and Lost Worlds and Mythical Kingdoms by John Joseph Adams. It's the same thing. The formatting of the book that I had was just too hard to read. Then I read Ought to Be Dead by Scott Warren, which was also an arc. Gave 3 out of 5 stars. It's a fantasy, and it's about a guy who is supposed to be dead but isn't dead. I couldn't figure out the logistics, but it was okay. Then I listened to the audiobooks of City of Dragons and Blood of Dragons by Robin Hobb, gave them 2 out of 5 stars. Then I read Aristotle, and those are the last 2 books in, I don't know what the series is, the second last series in the realm of the Elderling, and we're following a group of dragons who is traveling to this place with a group of humans. Then I read Aristotle and Dante Discover Secrets of the Universe by Benjamin Alastanes. I'm not sure if I pronounced author's name correctly. It was really fun. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. Then I read Blood and Honey by Shelby McHorn, which is second book in Serpent and Dove series. In this series we're following a witch and a witch hunter who, because of certain things that happen, have to get married. Then I read Ironheart by Nina Virela, which is equal to Crier's War by Nina Virela. In this one we're following 2 girls, one human, one automata, and the automata actually won against humans and now they're in charge. And our human character decides to infiltrate automata government to assassinate their leader's daughter, but she and the titular daughter have romance. Then I read My Best Friend's Exorcism by Grady Hendrix. Unless I say the rating, it's all 4 out of 5 stars, which is about basically one girl tells us a story about the exorcism of her best friend. Then I read The Bone Witch by Vince Pecco, in which we are following a girl who, in 2 timelines, one timeline when she was trained to be a bone witch, and the second timeline is her right now when she has been disgraced. Then we have The Hazelwood by Melissa Albert, which is about the girl whose grandmother dies, and I think, or was it the other book? Again, it's about the girl who goes somewhere. Then I read Daughter of the Pirate King by Theresa Levenseller, which is about Daughter of the Pirate King. Then you have Warrior of the Wild by Theresa Levenseller, which is about a girl warrior in this world. Then we have Hunter by Megan Spooner, which is reimagining of I'll tell you just a sec. I'm mixing this one with another book by the same author, so I have to check. Hunted, not Hunter. This is reimagining of The Beauty and the Beast, as far as I can tell. Then I read The Sentence of the Queen by John Key, which is about either a queen or a princess that has to save her people. I don't remember exactly of which rank she was. Then we have The Near Witch by V. Schwab, which is one of her earlier books, and it's about a witch. Then I read Alexa Approximately by Jenna Bennett, which is about 2 teens who actually have been chatting online while our female character lived with her mom, but she is now moving in with her dad, who actually lives in the same town as our main male character, and she doesn't tell him and tries to figure out who is the titular Alex. And it's a romance between them. Then I read this Savage Song by V. Schwab, which is about the world where music is used as a weapon. Then I read Staria, it's by Jen Bennett, which is also a teen romance about, I think, 2 school rivals who get lost on the school field trip. Then I read Love and Luck by Jenna Evans Welsh, which is about a girl who goes with her mom to Ireland and then there she falls in love. Then I read The Keeper of the Lost Cities by Sharon Messenger, which is, as the title says, about Keeper of the Lost Cities. Then I read Rosebud by H.G. Howard, which is her reimagining of the Phantom of the Opera, where the titular phantom is female. Then I read Stain by the same author, again a fantasy reimagining of the story. Then we have The Forest Queen by Bessie Cornwell. I'm not sure what this is even about. Then I read The Winterwood by Sharon Ershaw. Again, don't remember really what this is about. Then series Moonlight by Jen Bennett. Again, a teen contemporary romance. Then The Moth in the Mirror by H.G. Howard, which is a novella in her Splintered series. Then I read The Taking of Jay Livingstone by Ryan Douglas, which is about this boy who gets possessed by a ghost of someone and stuff goes from there. Then I read The Bad Saint by Monica James, which is about a girl who gets kidnapped and it's her love story with one of the guys who kidnapped her, but I'm not completely sure on that. Then I read The Fire and Stars by Roger Colthor, which is a fantasy. Then I reread Felix Ever After by Kenson Calendar, which is about Felix Love, who is black, trans, and queer, and starts being bullied and ends up in a quasi life triangle with him, his best friend, and his best friend's ex. Which is also the last physical book that I finished in the month. No, it isn't. I finished 2 more physical books. I completely forgot about them. Then I reread Shadow Black by Sebastian de Castel, which second book in the Spellslinger series, which is about Callan, who is in the first book just about to take his mage's trial, but his magic starts to fail, so he decides to cheat and stuff goes from there. Then I read Fury by Clairol Legrand, where we are following 2 queens of this kingdom, I think 1,000 years apart, and somehow their stories mirroring each other. Then I read All Stars and Teeth by Oratory Grace, which is a YA fantasy. Then I read A Starry Daughter by Shweta Takara. I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce Indian names. So this is about a girl whose mother is a star, so she's a half star. And one day when she accidentally burns her human father, she goes to her mother to beg for the cure for her father, but that ends up leaving her in this awkward position where she has to be her family's champion in this competition in order to get the cure. Then I read The Last Storm Dance by Jay Kristoff. I just know that it's about a girl and that he appropriated Japanese culture in this one, and I don't know nothing about it. And I read the book, so it tells you how much I remember of it. Then I read We Can't Keep Meeting Like This by Rachel Lynn Solomon, which is about 2 teens. One is a child of wedding planners, and the other one is of the caterers. And their families work together, so they literally are all meeting over the course of the summer on a bunch of weddings. Then we have The Queen of Blood by Sarah Beth Durst, which is an adult fantasy, the high fantasy, which I cannot explain. Then we have Ace of Shades by Amanda Foody, which again is quite complicated to explain. What I heard, you actually have to get in the series a little bit to begin to understand the overarching plot. And there's 4 books sold. Then I read Radiance by Grace Draven. I'm not even sure what is this one. This is a paranormal romance between 2 people from opposing sides who have to get married. And then we have Virela by Ashley Poston, which is about a girl who is a really big fan of this show, and actually one of the new actors on the show. Then we have Just One of the Boys by Leah Hooper, which is about a girl who just wants to be a hockey player with the rest of the boys, because their small town they lived before, there wasn't a female hockey team, so she and her twin brother always played together in the boys team, and now when she is in a big city, the male team doesn't want her and sends her off to the female team, where she doesn't get on well. For example, she breaks the other girl's bone by throwing her into the fence of the rink. Then we have Always Stop by Erin Fletcher, which is about a figure dancer. Then we have Unhollowed by Jordan L. Hawkes. I'm not even sure the synopsis of this one, so I'll just read it off Goodreads just because. This is a story about this small town where the library is holding magical secrets. Then I read a couple more romances, and I don't need to. There's nothing much to say about any of them. There were nothing great. They were good but not great. So I'll talk the last 2 books that I finished in January. The first one is Charmcaster by Sebastian de Castel. So this is the 3rd book in Spellslinger series, and from this book onwards, this book looks so tiny when you look at them like this, but you never would tell it they're as long as they are. So for the first and the second one, you would say that they're around that amount of pages, but third one onwards, they look shorter than they actually are. And the last book is The Memory of Babel by Christelle Davor, which is the 3rd book in the Mirror Visitor series, which originally was in French and then it was translated in English. In this one we are following a girl who is a mirror visitor, which means she can travel to mirrors. And apparently I haven't put one audiobook on here, but I'll talk about it after this. And also she's a reader, which means that after she touches an object, she can tell stuff about it. For example, who it belonged to, how it got into that person's hands and stuff like that. And I also listened to the audiobook of False Assassin by Robin Hobb, which is first book in the Fits and Fools series, which is, I think, last series in Robin Hobb's Realm of the Elderling, like in that order. And in this one we're following Fitz around, what is it, 25 years of after the end of the Farsia trilogy and 10 after the end of Tony Mann trilogy. And basically we start following Fitz in the Farsia trilogy after he gets dumped by his maternal grandfather at the doorstep of the keep for his father, who is Prince in waiting, to take care of him. But when his father finds out that his bastard son is coming, he abdicates the throne and goes to live in the countryside, which leaves Fitz in a quite an unfortunate situation in which he is mostly raised by the stable master Boric until the age when the king notices him and decides that he would be a good royal assassin because he is royalty, so he could attend royal events. But he's also a commoner, so that means that the people won't pay much attention to him. And yeah, that's it for this video. If you enjoyed it, like, share and subscribe. Down below you have my social media, my email and some other stuff. And I'll see you in the next one.